Well, today is the 13th of March, 2020. As of 2 days ago, they were officially saying there would be no lockdown of Manila until coronavirus reached, I forget how many thousands of cases. However, last night, President Duterte had a press conference. He announced a resolution and said he will be making it an executive order, so it's enforceable soon. They are starting a lockdown of Manila for 1 month. If you're planning any travels, you're going to need to look into this and get better details. What we have right now is still a little sketchy, and it hasn't gone into effect yet. The lockdown is supposed to go into effect on the 15th, in 2 days. The basics were, of course, the no mass gatherings, so all events are canceled. The executive branch operations will be mostly suspended, but they're going to have a skeleton crew still, keeping the government functioning. And he recommends the legislative and judiciary branch follow the same procedure. The health services and any emergency front line is going to stay fully operational and manned. Schools are already closed, but the closures continued until April 12th. The Department of Labor says that businesses are supposed to have guidelines to safeguard the welfare of the workers and work out what they call it, flexible work arrangements. Not exactly sure what that means, but that's something. And manufacturing, retail, service establishments, they're advised to remain open but observe strict social distancing. So we'll see how all that plays out. The main thing is the transport and travel. Starting on the 15th, domestic, land, sea, and air travel to and from Manila are canceled for 1 month. The international is still supposed to be open, but with various restrictions some of them are already in place. So if you're traveling into the country, be careful of your connecting flights and where they go through, because there's a lot of places, if you land in China, you're not coming to the Philippines. There's different places that are blocked, and it does change, so check with your travel agent. Generally, I don't use a travel agent. Right now, I would recommend one to stay on top of all the rules. It changes daily right now. The domestic, land, sea, and air transport are supposed to be suspended beginning March 15th until April 14th. And it's going to be subject to daily reviews by the Interagency Task Force. So everything right now is in flux. None of it's gone into effect yet. We're not sure exactly how it's going to go. OFWs are going to be allowed to return to their respective countries to work if they want, and they're going to be getting health advisory pamphlets explaining the dangers. The OFWs that want to return are able to come back. They may be put on quarantine. Sometimes it's in-home quarantine. Depends on where you're coming from, where you're going. Again, all of that is flexible. He said he wanted all Filipinos to have the right to come back home because they are Filipino citizens. And I was actually kind of surprised to hear that they included, with the Filipinos coming back, it includes their children and foreign spouses. Also, if you're a permanent resident visa holder, like I have a 13A, I'm a permanent resident, I could come back to the Philippines without my wife. If she was already here and I was out somewhere else, because I have a permanent visa, I would be allowed back in where other foreigners may not. So it's, again, you'll have to check daily to see what the rules are on where you can travel from. who's allowed in. It's all kind of in flux right now. When President Duterte made the announcement, he did talk about community quarantine. And in the language of the resolution, lockdown is used. And he wants to make sure and stress this is not a police action. It is not a military action. It is a response to a medical emergency. He wants to make sure it's very clear. It's not like a dictatorial takeover. This actually seems like a fairly good response. He just wants to make sure it's not misunderstood, because some people, I'm going to stay out of politics, but some people could view it as a reason to, make dictatorial claims. So there are, of course, people saying that it was an overreaction. There are some saying it was done too late, it should have been sooner. So you're never going to make everybody happy. I feel sorry for any world leader right now going through this, the first really big pandemic we've had. Actually, this is the only one I can think of that's gone this big, this fast. So they are flying by the seat of their pants. They're learning how to respond. Mistakes will be made in every country by pretty much everyone. And hopefully they will learn a lot from this. He did also say that what he recommends the local government units, the LGUs, around the country, in a barangay, if there are 2 different houses that have someone with the virus, the barangay needs to be put on quarantine. In a municipal or city, if there are 2 different barangays with cases, that municipality or city needs to be put on quarantine. And as province-wide quarantine would be if 2 different unattached cities have cases. There needs to be a province-wide quarantine. So they're trying to contain it. If they keep people home, keep it contained, it may give time for the medical personnel to find the vaccine or better treatments. So they're trying to slow down the transmission. We don't have very many cases in the Philippines yet, and they're trying to keep it that way. President Duterte did also stress there is no need to panic. Continue with your daily activities, but with reasonable restrictions. Which, again, that makes sense. He does say do not minimize, the threat, but don't kill yourself worrying about it. Be reasonable. Try and protect yourself, and the government is doing everything it can to help it stay controllable. Again, if you're going to be traveling into the Philippines, you need to double check your travel plans. Right now is not the best time to travel anyway, but we've got a family member trying to get here from Malaysia, and we can't find her a flight because everything wants to fly through Manila, and if she gets to Manila, she's not supposed to be able to leave Manila because of the travel ban. So we're trying to find a flight from Malaysia, and it's really hard right now. The flights right now are really restricted, what countries they come from, even just for layovers. It can really mess up your flight plans. So again, to sum up, this is a 1-month lockdown. It has not yet gone into effect, but this is what he announced last night. It's supposed to go into effect in 2 days. It is a 1-month lockdown. It will be reviewed daily and adjusted as needed. So we're going to have to just play it by ear. If you have travel plans, you might want to come up with some other plans for a couple months. So nobody here is panicking. They are out of alcohol and hand sanitizer. They were giving out hand sanitizer at the grocery store this morning. They squirted some in my hand, and it was more water than sanitizer, because I think even the store is out. But we have our own. So everybody take care. We're going to take care. Good night and good luck.
Enjoy your day in paradise.